Hey Shark fans, it's your pal Ian here, ready to talk about tonight's game against the Vancouver Canucks where the Sharks prevailed 6-2 on the strength of Matt Nieto's 2 goals, one of course on the empty net. A lot of other guys got some goals too, and we're going to break it all down. Today I'm going to do it more of the old format that the written blog would normally be in, and that's we're going to break it down into the good, the bad, and the ugly for tonight. So obviously let's start with the good, which there was plenty of. If you read my pregame preview post, I said that with Markstrom having his first game in the NHL this year, not his first game overall, but for this year, I said it was really important that the Sharks got to him early and often, and they did. Chasing him after 4 shots where he allowed 3 goals. So it was a very, very good start for the Sharks, and they kind of were able to build off of that and really hold off the Canucks and win the game on the strength of those 3 goals where they took advantage of a very shaky Markstrom off the get-go. Um, so, you know, let's talk about some of the other things that were good about the game. Obviously, they got goals from guys they need to get goals from. Matt Nieto has had a very rough year as far as goal production goes. He's had some good games, but as far as goal production goes, nowhere near where I think any of us expected Matt Nieto to be. He scored a very important goal tonight, and he also added an empty netter. Logan Couture got in a very important goal. Patrick Marleau had 2 assists. Melker Karlsson, who's kind of had, I don't know, I really like Melker Karlsson, but I find that he's had some so-so games lately, and I thought that he got a really, a really fluky goal, but it's still nice to see him put one in the back of the net. And last game I talked about how I really didn't notice the fourth line at all. Tonight the fourth line was more visible than the third, I thought, with Chris Tierney actually being the one to get the first goal for the Sharks. So a good night by the fourth line. John Scott had a hilarious encounter with Derek Dorsett, which was funny. If you want to go YouTube that, if you didn't see it, definitely go do it because it's probably one of the funniest things that you'll see. Um, what else can we say that was good? Antti Niemi actually had a pretty good goal, pretty good night in goal tonight, rather. Sorry. I thought that, a couple of the goals he really didn't have a chance on the 2 goals. Some of the defensive breakdown on one, and then the other, he made the original save. Was kind of out of position. Maybe he overcommitted to the first save, but all in all, I thought he had a pretty good night, and I think that he proved why he's still the starter on this team, especially after that game that Stalock had. Obviously, a weak game by Antti Niemi tonight. Probably would have had, Sharks fandom in a little bit of a flutter, wondering why Niemi would continue to get starts. And I think tonight he really justified why he'll continue to get starts in a very important game. Obviously, this is the second night of back-to-backs, and the Sharks were able to come out strong, which is very important on back-to-backs. You want to come out strong in the second game of them because you'll lose momentum as you go on sometimes, but that wasn't the case tonight. The Sharks looked good pretty much from start to finish in this one. I thought the second period was probably their best this game, even though that was the one where Vancouver did score a couple of goals. But overall, I thought the play was really good in the second period, aside from some penalty trouble. I guess that's probably, getting to the bad now, unfortunately. The bad would definitely be that the Sharks are still, averaging a short. Sorry, now their penalty kill has not been very good. The penalty kill is allowing a goal, roughly a goal a game, and it slid to the bottom third of the league. The penalty kill was probably, it was one of the better ones in the league for a long time this year, and it's just really the last over February, it's completely slid down. So there's that problem, unfortunately. What else can we talk about that was bad? Mirko Mueller, probably not his best night. I thought he made some, I really like Mirko Mueller. I think he's got a lot of potential, but he's very green. And tonight he showed that he was pretty green. I thought that the one goal that they scored where him and Burns were on the ice, I thought Burns chasing kind of put him in an awkward position because he had basically 3 people to watch at that point because Burns got picked. So I don't really put that on him, but he made a lot of small plays that were, they just showed his inexperience in the NHL, and that's not a bad thing. This is how he learns, unfortunately, and I'm not upset with him by any stretch, but he was the only Shark to finish with a minus, I think. So, uh, not his best game, but you know, of all the things you kind of have to nitpick when you're winning 6-2. Which brings us to the ugly. The only thing that was really ugly about this game was the fact that the Sharks got absolutely mauled in the face-off dot. They got mauled. It was 36-19 was the difference in face-offs in favor of the Canucks. Now, if you've been watching the Sharks for a long time, face-offs are generally their strong point. Why Vancouver continues to hand us our rear ends in the face-off dot, I will never understand, because I think that while they, don't get me wrong, Sedins are very good at taking face-offs. The Sharks have a lot of good face-off guys, and I don't know where all the face-offs were lost. I'd have to see the breakdown. I wonder how much of it was lost by the bottom six, namely maybe Chris Tierney. But other than that, I thought overall a good game. So let's get down to some final thoughts. First things first, the out-of-town scoreboard was no help to us tonight, unfortunately. There was 3 games that really made an effort in the, that really had an effect, sorry, on our standings, and unfortunately no help. The Flames won tonight in overtime in Philadelphia. The Kings won tonight in Edmonton, and even though the wild card isn't exactly our best way in, Minnesota getting another win doesn't help us either, in case we kind of have to try and eke into that wild card spot if we can't wrestle away that third or second playoff seed in the Pacific Division. So that's unfortunate for us, but all in all, I mean, the Sharks did what they have to do. They can't worry too much. I mean, obviously, it's a bad situation when you have to worry about the out-of-town scoreboard and you have to get help from other teams. That's just the boat that the Sharks have let themselves become in, and that's, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. What the Sharks have to worry about, though, is what they can control, and that's what they did tonight. They won the game, and these 2 points are huge. They increased the Sharks' percentage chance to make the playoffs according to sportsclubstats.com. They increased it to about 30%, which, before, I mean, that's another 5% above where they were before the game today. So it's a good start. They need help from the out-of-town scoreboard. Unfortunately, they need the Kings and the Flames and the Canucks to kind of, well, I think the Canucks were even for games, but the Flames and the Kings have games in hand, and we need them to definitely waste some of them so that the Sharks can, get a fighting chance. But the important thing is the Sharks keep having to help themselves. Unfortunately, this is it for the week. We won't see the Sharks in action again until next Saturday, when they welcome Vancouver back to SAP Center for their next game. This game will be a part of, I believe, a 4-game homestand, and then I believe they may have like another game at home, but pretty much after the next homestand, they're back on the road mostly. So the Sharks are going to have to continue playing not only good like this, but on the road as well as at home. The Sharks well on their way, though. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but I can't help but be happy with the fact that, they're just, after February, it looked like they were just going to slink out of the playoffs and just go. And we didn't want that, and I don't want that. So it's good to see, like, even if, things don't work out, which obviously I want them to, but if they don't, if they keep playing like this, I can swallow that pill, I think. So that's it till Saturday. I'm sure I'll have a video or something in the meantime. I will be actually going on a podcast tomorrow to talk some Sharks hockey. So as soon as I get all the details for that, I will pass them on to you. Keep an eye on my Twitter feed. Keep an eye on my blog. Of course, my Twitter feed is at IanBlogSharks, and my blog address is ianblogsharks.blogspot.ca. So if you ever want to check out any other videos or written work or stuff that I've done, be sure to check those out, and I look forward to talking to you either sometime soon or Saturday for the game. Have a good one, guys.